Greenville, South Carolina is the site. Timmons Arena, the home to the South Atlantic Conference semifinals and title game, featuring our second semifinal between the LR Bears and the third-seeded Newberry Wolves. It's all headed your way on the SAC Digital Network. Greetings, salutations, and good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. You are looking live at Timmons Arena on the site of Furman University and the Purple Paladins. One half of the SAC title game has already been decided. Anderson with an 11-point win over fourth-seeded Catawba. And now we turn our attention to our second SAC semifinal, an unconventional matchup featuring the third-seeded Newberry Wolves and the seventh-seeded Lenoir-Rhyne Bears. I'm Adam Cavalier alongside Jake Levy. Happy to have you along for this second SAC semifinal. Jake, a lot of excitement here in this arena. Fantastic matchup in Game 1, and March looks to continue the excitement in Game 2.
Absolutely outstanding atmosphere. You look for that to continue as the day wears on. Neutral site, all the energy, plus we get the added bonus of a true underdog today, so I'm really excited for this matchup.
So you talk about the seventh-seeded Lenoir-Rhyne Bears, just the fourth time that a seventh seed has made the SAC semis. What stands out to you about LR?
Well, their energy has been incredible, and really they've been playing tournament games for about the last month. Every game's been a must-win game, then right at the bottom of the standings, those top 8 teams get in. So they've been fighting for their lives for almost a month now, so they're used to this style of play, and they can beat you in so many different ways, have so many prolific scorers. They're really tough to stop and a fun matchup to watch.
On the flip side, you've got the Newberry Wolves and one of the all-time greats down low for the Wolves.
Absolutely. You got Hannah Lapeo down low. She's outstanding down low, but they also have shooters on the perimeter that really create space for her. She's a matchup nightmare, but they also, with Samantha Creed and the others, make it so tough for you to focus all of your attention on her. So it's really going to be an interesting matchup. See how LR chooses to stop that Wolves attack.
Turn our attention now to our star watch.
Absolutely, and you look at Jasmine Charles, the 2014 SAC Player of the Year, 2015 All-Conference, averaging 17 points a game and 7 boards. She's been doing it all this season. 33 points in that SAC quarterfinal win on the road against Wingate, the 7 upsetting the 2, and she was the big reason why. She's going to be really tough to stop today all over the floor. Down low, you know where the Newberry Wolves are going. It's got to be Lapeo. She's been doing it year after year, and she, in her senior year, has been outstanding again. A first-team All-SAC, 17 points a game, 4 rebounds a game. She's just been so good at what she does down low. It's going to be fun to watch her down low and Jasmine Charles, who just sprints all over the floor.
Newberry and Lenoir-Rhyne in this second SAC semifinal. We'll let you look in live to the final moments of the warm-ups, then turn things over to the Furman in-house PA announcer here on the SAC Digital Network.
Fans, your attention please. Would you please direct your attention to the court for an important announcement from 2 of our student athletes from today's game. From Newberry, Caitlin Vaholke, and from Lenoir-Rhyne, Jordan Hyatt.
Welcome to today's game between the Lenoir-Rhyne Bears and the Newberry Wolves. We see this basketball court as an extension of our classroom environment where we learn dignity and respect for others.
Today, we ask for your enthusiastic support of your respective team. We also ask that you support the student athletes from both of our institutions by honoring our request to treat all fans, officials, coaches, and student athletes with respect. Thank you.
And ladies and gentlemen, a warm welcome to the 2015 SAC Basketball Championship. Now we'd like to introduce to you the student athletes and coaches from today's semifinal game between the 7th-seeded Lenoir-Rhyne Bears and the 3rd-seeded Newberry Wolves. We'll We'll begin with the reserves from Lenoir-Rhyne. Number 2, Cassidy Joyner. Number 10, Farah Young. Number 20, Karima Dean. Number 23, Cheyenne Logan. Number 30, Marie Ritchie. Number 32, Sarah Henson. And number 40, Sydney Haas. Now for the reserves from Newberry. Number 10, Caitlin Paholke. Number 11, Kirsty Hawkins. Number 12, Emily McElveen. Number 13, Kirsten Dunsmore. Number 20, Brittany Singleton. Number 23, Emily Perry. Number 25, Michael Sims. Number 31, Kylie Frazier. Number 42, Hannah Lapeo. And number 50, Colleen Leong. Now let's meet the starters for today's game. For Lenoir-Rhyne, a senior guard, number 1, Jenny Gust. From Newberry, a senior guard, number 22, Zara Pearson. From Lenoir-Rhyne, a junior guard, number 12, Jordan Hyatt. From Newberry, a freshman guard, number 35, Nicola Hendrick. From Lenoir-Rhyne, a senior forward, number 33, Jasmine Charles. From Newberry, a sophomore forward, number 21, Jaya Schultz. From Lenoir-Rhyne, a sophomore forward, number 21, Brooke Robinson. From Newberry, a junior forward, number 33, Samantha Creed. From Lenoir-Rhyne, a sophomore center, number 25, Morgan Cooper. And from Newberry, a senior center, number 24, Haley Lapeo. The head coach for the Lenoir-Rhyne Bears is Katie Pate. And the head coach for Newberry is Sean Page.
Adam Cavalier, Jake Levy, happy to have you alongside here on the SAC Digital Network as Sean Page preps his third-seeded Newberry Wolves for a matchup with the seventh-seeded Lenoir-Rhyne Bears, helmed by first-year head coach Katie Pate, taking over for Todd Starkey, who took an assistant's job at Indiana. Pate has the Bears back in the SAC semis, just the fourth time a 7-seed has made the semis. Today's officials, Lori James, Mike Trussell, who you see on your screen, and Dave Pittock. Jones will toss it up as Lapeo stands in the jump circle for the Wolves to tip it up against Brooke Robinson. Ball's in the air. Newberry controls, moving left to right on your screen in the gray uniforms against the black-clad LR Bears. Creed, high-low action for Lapeo. Airmails the jumper from inside, and the rebound touched out of bounds by the Wolves. Go inside Lapeo early on.
Yeah, not the result they wanted on that first possession, but there you see what they're going to want to do early on against this LR team. The Bears don't really have the size down low that can match up with Lapeo when she gets in there one-on-one like that.
Cooper out front. Drives, dishes, shot up and in from Jenny Gust from the right baseline. Good penetrate action with the kick.
And Jenny Gus has been so good in the past few games, especially in that Mars Hill game. Remember, that last day of the season was to determine who would be the 7 and the 8 between Mars Hill and Lenoir-Rhyne. Lenoir-Rhyne got the win, got to go to Wingate instead of Anderson, and because of that, they're in this game.
Newberry launching from 3 from the left wing. Pearson's off the mark, and Lapeo can't save it in. A couple misses off good looks for the Wolves. Down 2 in the first minute. Gus running things in the keyhole. Drives, pivots, shot, and rattles in. Jenny Gust has the first 4 of the day for LR. Read about Jasmine Charles. It's Jenny Gust who's doing the heavy lifting for Lenoir-Rhyne here in the early going.
And Jasmine Charles, even though she's not scoring early, she creates such a matchup nightmare and creates so much space for her teammates. And Jenny Gust has really been a beneficiary of that a lot of this last month of the season when Charles has kind of returned to that old form.
Lapeo can't hit the baseline jumper, and the Bears come the other way with it.
Sluggish start for Newberry here, 0 for 3 right out of the chutes.
Touch passes around the right baseline, it goes, and the jumper won't go for Cooper, but a second chance for LR.
That's a really nice job by Jordan Hyatt to come out to the high spot, catch that rebound, and dish it off.
Charles, 2 years removed from a SAC Player of the Year, her 17-footer's off the mark. LR with a third opportunity, though. Charles thought about the deep 3, thought better of it, and LR will reset.
How about the 5th LR rebound to Newberry 0 in the early going?
A blocking foul called on the Wolves as Cooper was cutting down the lane. Gust with the early start for the Bears to this 4-0 lead.
Yeah, and there you see hers along the baseline. Too much space for Jenny Gust, who's a really good jump shooter. And of course, she's got the moves that she can create space herself as well.
She creates a shot in the middle of the lane for Robinson. Robinson can't finish, though, and the Wolves race the other way. Nice knifing lay-in from Samantha Creed. And she finishes for the first points for Newberry. First made shot in 4 attempts for the Wolves.
Yeah, there's a reason why she averages 17 points a game. She can really let them fly, and she's got that great penetration ability as well.
Charles well short on 3. Wolves the other way. The drive and the foul for Zara Pearson. Creed getting the offense rolling for Newberry on the fast break.
Yeah, she does a great job picking up that pass right at midcourt, taking it left to right, slashing through the lane, and then an easy finish.
See what Newberry does offensively with a chance to tie the game. Andrick, an all-freshman team, are at the foul line. Up and under move, can't finish. Lapeo the offensive board, and she punches it in off the window. Haley Lapeo now tied for the all-time scoring lead for Newberry with more than 1,700 career points. Next bucket gives her the record for the Wolves.
Something tells me she'll get that here today, Kev.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. It'd be noteworthy if Lapeo didn't score the rest of the way. Strong 3 for LR and Jordan Hyatt, and the Wolves on the break off the rebound.
Yeah, she's a pretty good 3-point shooter, too, 32% on the year.
Creed called for a charge in the middle of the lane. Had the good fast break look at an open 3, but Creed whistled for the foul, much to the delight of Lenoir-Rhyne head coach Katie Pate.
Yeah, and Katie Pate's very familiar with this team. You said just her first year as the head coach, but she spent 4 years as an assistant. Actually left for a few months as the assistant coach at Georgia Southern, and they called her back to be the head coach here, and she took the job after being away for just a couple of months.
LR trying to retake the lead, but nothing doing as Lapeo swats it out of bounds. 4-4 ball game through the opening 4 minutes, 7 seconds. And Lapeo bringing the Wolves back even with the Bears with that putback.
Well, Adam, let's go ahead and take a look at Jake's jumping points here for today. And the big one for Lenoir-Rhyne, Charles in charge. She's got back-to-back 30-plus point games. She has been so good for this team for 2 straight years. and she has to be big for them again here today if they're going to keep pace with this 3-seeded Newberry team who can score from so many different ways. And then if the shoe fits, wear it. Embrace that Cinderella role. You got the big win. You mentioned just the 4th time a number 7 seed has been in the semifinals. You get to come to the neutral site, come to Furman University, enjoy it, lay it all out on the line, play with that energy that they have been with for the last month or so, and try to see if you can steal one here from Newberry and do something really special here today. And then on the flip side for Newberry, it's bear down on the post. Lopeo, you mentioned it. She's so tough to stop down low, and LR just does not have the size to match her down low. You saw that putback right before the break, and then limit the giveaways. LR so good at creating those turnovers, and Newberry was the bottom in the league in turnovers on the offensive end this year. They've got to keep that up and make sure that they still get the chance to put up those shots because they're also such a good shooting team, 2nd in the conference in shooting percentage this year.
Lopeo and company trying to get a stop and take the lead for the first time today. LR's missed its last 7 shots. Hyatt with the shot clock winding down. Bears enter it inside to Robinson, but her heels are on the baseline. And LR turns it over for the first time today. Newberry back-to-back buckets, trying to take the lead for the first time in this 3-7 SAC quarterfinal. Lopeo at the foul line. Toilet bowls around the rack and pops off. Tough break on the jumper. A 1080 around the rack for Creed before it falls off.
Yep. There you go. Look at how close that thing came to rattling down. Spins all the way around twice before popping out. It's a tough break if there ever was one.
LR trying to break this 4-4 tie. Charles, the drive, the layup with the kiss off the window.
Samantha Creed did nothing wrong there, Adam. She came over to help on the baseline on Robinson's drive, but Jasmine Charles coming to the back end just too quick and too athletic around the basket.
Wolves can tie it with a 2 this trip. Andrick working man-to-man on the Bears. A 3 splashes in for the Wolves. Perry drains it from beyond the arc. 36% three-point shooter on the season, and she shows why there. And the Bears counter. Jenny Gus, nothing but nylon. She's got 7 of the Bears' 9 points. And LR's back on top by 2.
Yeah, I told you Gus can really shoot at 38% three-point shooter on the year.
Creed driving the left of the lane, won't go. Lopeo, the second chance, feeds out to the perimeter, but the 3 won't drop for Handrick.
Credit that stop to Jasmine Charles. What a great job one-on-one with Creed down low.
High post action, works with aplomb for Brooke Robinson. And the Bears with their largest lead at 4 points here in the early going. Been a back and forth game so far as Newberry tries to establish something down low, but won't happen as Jaya Schultz, a second turnover in 3 possessions, traveling with the basketball underneath the hoop.
And again, it was the help defense causing problems. That time, Jenny Gust coming from her spot in the middle of that zone, coming to the baseline and really forcing issues.
Newberry struggling from the field, 3 of 11. LR's hit 42% of its shots en route to this 4-point advantage. Charles, 3-time all-first teamer, feeds Gust on the left baseline, and Gust, buttery smooth, drops it in for 2. And Sean Page has seen enough. He'll call for time as LR celebrates on its way back to its bench. And Bears.
There's the energy that we were talking about coming from Lenoir-Rhyne, and the active hands-on defense, getting the stop, and then it transitions to a great play. Charles tried to use that screen to get some space. When it wasn't there, she just zipped a beeline right over to Jenny Gust, who we've seen finish from the baseline twice now. Once from the far side, that one from the same distance, about 13 out, but from the near side, just ripping it through the net.
Not a lot to complain about for Jenny Gust. She's 4 for 4 from the field, while Haley Lopeo from Newberry just has 2 points on 1 of 3 shooting. Creed, on the other hand, 2 points. But it's been gust for Lenoir-Rhyne. Wolves try to cut into this 6-point deficit. Lapeo down low. Pump fakes, shot off the back iron, no. A second chance for the Wolves.
Yeah, Perry, a nice job there to get position and pull that thing out.
Perry calls for steps. 3 Newberry turnovers in the last 3 minutes. 1 on Perry and 2 on Jaya Schultz.
And that was one of our jumping points. Limit those turnovers, give yourself a chance to put some shots up. Newberry's such a good scoring team percentage-wise, but keep turning the ball over, you limit your opportunities to do so.
7th-seeded Bears ahead by 6. Decent look for Charles in the right corner, but the charge before it, no basket.
Yeah, nice job to plant there. Creed got in the way, and as Cooper was continuing after that pass, just barreled into her. We'll watch it again here. We watch her come wrapping around. And there's the help from Creed stepping right. That's a really good call.
Great plant, too. Phenomenal plant. Wolves a chance to cut into the 6-point deficit. Weave at the head of the key. Goes inside to Lapeo, and she can't hit the chippy.
What a beautiful feed there from Colleen Leung, though, to set up Lapeo for the opportunity. She didn't get it, but she did get the foul, and she'll head to the line.
But first, teams head to their respective benches for media timeout number 2. A 6-point lead for the Lenoir-Rhyne Bears in a season series that saw Newberry do some good work against the Bears.
Yeah, absolutely. Newberry won both of them, and on the road in Hickory back on January 14th, it was a tight contest. Samantha Creed, 20 points, 8 boards, also had 3 steals on the defensive end, and Newberry won despite a poor 3-point shooting percentage. They went 4 of 25 from beyond the arc, a stark contrast from their 23 of 31 inside. Hence our theory that they should feed Lapeo today, and Jasmine Charles held to just 13 points, 1 of 6 from 3. And then on February 11th, a very similar scoreline, 65-43. Newberry with a much more decisive victory in Eliezer. Lapeo, 24 points, 13 boards. How about the efficient 11 of 15 from the floor? Field goal percentage, you see Newberry shot 48%, holding Lenoir-Rhyne to just 30. And then Newberry with 22 assists on their day, while Lenoir-Rhyne was held to just 3. And Newberry got the 20-point victory and the 2-0 series victory, but Lenoir-Rhyne taking it to him here in the SAC tournament early on.
Some significance to these Haley Lapeo free throws. If she hits the first, she becomes Newberry's all-time leading scorer and rattles it home. First on the Wolves' all-time scoring list. Congratulations to Haley Lapeo. That stops a 6-0 Newberry run, or LR run, pardon me.
It looks like they're going to sub one Lapeo in for the other after this shot if it falls.
Won't happen, so the Bears grab the rebound and will try to extend a 5-point lead. Hyatt all the way to the rim, finishes with the left hand high off the glass.
Yeah, Jordan Hyatt just saw a seam there and took it all the way right from midcourt. She knew she was going with that.
Perry a foot on the line, 2 rattles home. Quick pace as business picks up. LR still with a 5-point lead.
Well, not quite the Newberry men's pace, which will be on display later, but yet Perry got a good look early in the shot clock and didn't hesitate, and it worked out. She dropped it in. Foot was on the line, though, so it's just a 2.
Bears want Gust with the basketball. She's perfect from the field. Pump fakes the right corner 3, gets the lane, shot from 10, drops it in. 5 for 5 for Jenny Gust. She has 11 points, and apparently the women's tournament is about high watermark individual performances after Jasmine Franklin had 29 for Anderson in game 1 today.
Leung got her own miss, wow.
And great follow through for Leung. Back to a 5-point game. Bears shooting 53% from the field.
This was right around the spot. They'll call the foul on the floor.
So Creed picks up her second personal, and that's a big thing for the Wolves as Lapeo also exits. Creed will stay in with her 2 personals.
Yeah, we have seen Samantha Creed left in there with some foul trouble this year.
Hyatt gets inside for Gus, and her first miss of the day is an off-kilter shot from the middle of the paint. Wolves on the run out of the rebound. Young will stop and set up shop for Newberry. Down by 5. Give and go to Lapeo. She wasn't ready for the pass, and now she'll have to skip it out. 3-pointer launched off the back of the rim. LR spreading out Newberry. Good spacing from the Bears. As Gus drives and dishes. No shot available for Young, but she'll take this 3. Online but short. Second chance for LR. Robinson working on Lapeo. The Bears will circle it around the perimeter. Shot clock halfway gone. Robinson, one more try on Lapeo. Lapeo backs her off again. Charles with a shot clock winding down. The deep 3 won't go, and Lapeo has the rebound for Newberry.
And there you see LR's bailout plan every time. If it gets under 5 seconds, just give it to Jasmine Charles no matter where she is, because she's got a shot to bury it.
Young creating motion for the Wolves. She'll get it to Creed to set up shop. High screen from Lapeo. Creed moves left around it. Shot clock coming down as the ball flies out of bounds off of Charles. It'll stay with the Wolves, just 2 to shoot. Have to go to Lapeo here.
Yeah, and they tried to go inside to her and missed her high. I don't know if Jasmine Charles had to play that ball. It might have just gone out of bounds on its own. Maybe Charles lost where she was on the floor, but that at least gives Newberry a chance now with 2 seconds.
Lapeo on the right block, draws a double team, doesn't matter. Shoots over top of it and down for 2.
Yeah, she doesn't need much time when she gets a baseline inbound like that and has the angle to the basket.
Lapeo 5 points, but she's not that efficient, just 2 for 5 for the SAC statistical field goal percentage champion. Young around to the head of the key, and Hyatt calls out a screen, goes around it, has an open look from the left of the lane, won't drop. Robinson, an offensive rebound, muscles up a shot and sinks it. Great second chance opportunity for Brooke Robinson, adjusting to the contact in the middle of the paint.
Yeah, and so alert to put that ball on the floor with Lapeo looming and find a way to get around her and the help.
Newberry trying to bring it back to a single possession game. Schultz thought about a 3 top of the key, thought better of it. Wolves look to get it into Lapeo, they do. Skip pass. And the 3 falls for Pearson. Back to a 2-point game.
Just the second 3 made by Newberry in 5 attempts. LR just 1 of 5 from downtown. So it's been the inside game that's been working for both teams in the early goings.
Charles fades and fires from 15, short, and the Wolves on the break off the rebound. Perry tried the pass, got her own miscue, but couldn't finish.
And again, Jasmine Charles, an absolutely outstanding defensive possession. They're backpedaling, was able to get in the passing lane and then swarm the ball carrier and cause problems.
Young airmails a short jumper, and the Wolves will go on the break yet again. Newberry tries to run off of every rebound. Lapeo fouled as she takes it up with the right hand. Bears take a 19-17 lead, but Newberry drawing within 2 on Pearson's 3-pointer, and that brings us to a break in the action. Bears by 2. Back to this 7 versus 3 SAC semifinal on the SAC Digital Network.
We'll give him that one. Let's hear it for him. He wins a gift card. Compliments of Visit Greenville, South Carolina. Thank you.
Adam Cavalier, Jake Levy, glad to have you alongside here on the SAC Digital Network for today's second semifinal. One half of the title game bracket already set, with Anderson advancing with an 11-point win over Catawba. Now Haley Lapeo at the line for Newberry, trying to tie things up with LR. Been a back-and-forth game. LR grabbed a 6-point lead at one point, but the Wolves have drawn even after Lapeo's 2 free throws.
Yeah, and Lapeo, a slow start, missing her first 3 buckets, but all of a sudden now she's got 7 after those 2 free throws.
Bears have sent the offense flowing through Ginny Gust early, but Charles will try this 3-pointer that's off the mark, front iron, and Lapeo snatches her 6th rebound of the day.
And that's the 3rd miss from downtown by Jasmine Charles, just 1 of 7 to start the game for the 2014 SAC Player of the Year.
Nice screen set by Lapeo for that shot for Pearson, but ball clears the top of the backboard and goes out of bounds. Good idea offensively. Pearson just couldn't convert from beyond the arc. Newberry has scored 5 straight to tie this game. They'll try to get a stop so they can grab just their 3rd lead of the day. Lapeo with the right-hand fly swatter knocks Joyner's layup out of bounds. Lapeo starting to assert her dominance here. LR with the 2nd chance off the old team offensive rebound. Hyatt head of the key with the shot clock winding down. Joyner wanted the 3, didn't get it. Wolves on the break, 1-on-1. Schultz to the 10, finishes with the right hand.
And that was a great read by Schultz there. Saw the miss and immediately started breaking towards the other basket. And then the good find on the outlet pass, setting up the breakaway deuce that puts Newberry on top.
A 7-0 Newberry run to take this 2-point lead as Katie Pate calls for time. Sean Page giving his gray-clad Wolves some instruction in Newberry's huddle. Page called a timeout a few moments ago, and since then it's been all Newberry.
Yeah, and really that had to be a settle them down timeout because not much in their strategy has changed, at least offensively. They're still feeding the ball into Lapeo as you watch the outlet to Schultz that got Newberry this lead. But this is one of those things, you're at the tournament, you're at the neutral site, it's the first day, there's a lot of excitement. There was just the award ceremony, but now it's over halfway through this first half. Everyone's kind of got their legs underneath them, and we're seeing really good pace of this game right now.
Newberry outscoring LR 14-6 over the last 6 minutes. Bears trying to put it back in the cup. We're shooting 54% from the field, but that's down to 36% now. Robinson backs it out to Gust right wing. She's 5 of 6 from the field. Will she pull up here? She will. Nearly got it to go, but a 2nd chance. Charles, the offensive board, can't hit the chippy, gets her own rebound and finishes off the window. Jasmine Charles, 3rd time's the charm for the Bears. She's got 4 points, but just 2 of 8 from the field. Back tied at 21. High post for Lapeo. Lapeo with the feed from Schultz, gets it to go off the glass. Lapeo, 9 points, 6 boards for the Wolves, and Newberry's back on top. LR nearly loses it after the mishandle at the free throw line. Gust working inside. Turn and shoot, that won't happen.
2 tough shots there for Jenny Gust in a row after she had started 5 of 5. That time just trying to create again. We've seen her use that spin move effectively, but couldn't get it to go that time.
Lapeo draws the double team, passes across the paint to Schultz, and she'll finish with 2 hands.
And what can you do if you're Lenoir-Rhyne? You absolutely have to double Lapeo there.
Great find by Lapeo, knew the double team was coming, just passed out of it. Schultz is wide open on the other side for the bucket. Robinson. Shot clock's at 5. Deep it goes into Charles, and Charles gets it to rattle home.
I like what LR is doing here. They've gotten Charles a couple of good looks inside over their last 3 or 4 possessions, trying to get her going here on the offensive end.
She's also dishing. Finds Schultz on the left block and an easy lay-in after she breaks the double team. Newberry by 2, and we're back to Timmins Arena. This is the SAC Digital Network.
The South Atlantic Conference would like to thank the members of its corporate partner family, AstroTurf, Joint Construction, Coleman Crew and Associates, McMillan Hasman Smith Architecture, Moulton, Wilson, BB&T Insurance, and Hasty Awards. If you or your company wish to become a business partner of the South Atlantic Conference, please contact the conference office.
Jasmine Charles trying to lead Lenoir-Rhyne to the first ever appearance in a SAC title game by a 7 seed. Charles with 6 points, but on just 3 of 10 shooting, and the Wolves at the free throw line trying to extend a 2-point game. Dunsmore rattles in the first. And Newberry has done a decent job getting to the free throw line and making shots. Now 5 of 6 from the line today.
Meanwhile, LR on their offense have been yet to get to the stripe. They have been working it inside, though. We saw a couple of finishes from Charles lately, and then Hyatt had the 2 that she missed.
Charles has it. Goes inside for a fadeaway for Robinson, and Robinson somehow feathers that one through over top of Lapeo. Wolves ahead by 2, 27-25, with 2:34 left in the second half. Schultz, second chance opportunity. Somehow that one rainbows through. Was even with the shot clock when it reached its apex, and then knifed its way down through the hole. Newberry back by 4. Gust backing down Schultz, kicks out. 8 to shoot, loose ball, and Newberry creates a turnover with Handrick's steal, but the Wolves give it right back. Been a crisp ball game in that regard. Just 6 turnovers between the teams combined.
Yeah, both teams have cleaned up those turnovers. That was one of our jumping points here to make sure Newberry gets those possessions. They've done a good job of that, and Charles is going to take this right off the inbound.
Short off the front of the 10, and Lapeo online for a double-double, 9.7 rebounds for the first teamer in the first half. See if the Wolves go to her again inside. Tried to, but a kick ball. Perry's feed looked like it was going wide, and LR bails her out with the kick.
A couple of times we've seen that. We saw Charles play a pass that was going out of bounds that led to an inbound and a putback with 2 seconds left on the shot clock earlier.
Steal at the top of the key by Charles. LR doesn't have numbers. Charles will try to take it inside, but her pass intercepted by Lapeo. She leads the break, 3-on-2. Perry can't finish, and the Bears come away with the board. Three-pointer makes it a 1-point game for LR. But the Bears just 1 of 8 from beyond the arc. Gust gets it out to Charles, right wing. Charles drives past her defender all the way to the rim for 2.
Yeah, the last 30 seconds or so, you saw why Jasmine Charles is so good. That wingspan creating the steal on defense, and then the quick move to the basket.
Schultz drives right past Gus, dishes out to Perry. Wolves, do you try to go 2 for 1 here? Shot clock winding down, the 3 short front iron. And LR will have the rock. Charles into the lane and she's fouled.
Not a lot of turnovers in this first half, Gavin. Not a lot of fouls either. That's just the 4th team foul called on Newberry. Only 5 for LR. It's been a very clean game played so far.
And no free throw shot for the Bears either.
Well, I think because Charles turned to try to pass it at the end. Had she just continued with it, they would have given her the shots, but she made it very clear she was looking to pass that ball.
Quick foul on the Wolves as Sean Page brings a fresh body into the game in Samantha Creed. Creed in foul trouble for much of the first half, but Newberry hasn't seemed to have missed her absence, with Lapeo rolling inside. 9 points and 7 rebounds for the Wolves. LR, Charles driving, dishing, Gus the open 3, airballed it. And a heady play by Charles to slap the board off of Lapeo and keep it with LR with 10.6 to go in the first half. Nice chess match encapsulated between Charles and Lapeo. Just a flick of the hand to get it off Lapeo. Gust. Fadeaway won't drop for Robinson, and that's how the first half comes to a close. Clean basketball that sees Newberry take a 29-27 lead into the locker room on the Lenoir-Rhyne Bears. Both teams shooting the ball relatively well, both above 37% from the field, while the Stars doing the work. It's Haley Lapeo with 9.7 rebounds for the Wolves, and let's check in with Ryan Brown.
Thanks, Adam. Here with Newberry head coach Sean Page. Coach, Haley obviously very successful in that first half, nearing a double-double. What'd you like about what she was able to accomplish there?
She played well. She missed a couple of shots that she should have made, but you know, I think she played well. She actually that put her. She became the all-time leading scorer in Newberry College history today, and the second leading rebounder in the school's history as well. So that's a nice side note. She's got that out of the way. Hopefully she can have a good second half.
Coach, able to take the lead midway point of the first half and then held it there to the end. What changed and what has to continue in the second half?
We're not playing very well. I don't think defensively. We've given up 27 points. That's a lot of points for us, I would think, in a half. Didn't really help off to the ball. They're a good team, well coached. They run a lot of good stuff, and Jasmine Charles is a really good player. They've got a bunch of other kids that can play as well, but I just don't think we were fully committed, locked in, and sort of emotionally and physically invested defensively in the half. So hopefully we can have a better half defensive. If we do that, we'll be okay.
Coach, thanks a lot. Good luck.
Thanks, mate.
Adam, Jake.
All right, thank you very much. Ryan Brown alongside Sean Page. Sean Page, a tough man to please. 27 points allowed and 37% field goal percentage against, and that's not good enough defensively for his Newberry Wolves.
Well, they only forced 4 turnovers by LR, so maybe that's one of the things they'll circle. But, I mean, you talk about the perimeter defense that Newberry displayed there. 1 of 9 shooting from beyond the arc by LR. That's just, you can't ask for much better than that out of your defense on the perimeter. And I think it was a pretty evenly matched first half. And for a number 7 seed, maybe as a number 3 coach, you'd like to see a little bit more of separation there.
For the Bears, it's the Stars doing the work. Jenny Gust, 11 points. She hit her first 5 shots, but scoreless after that, 0 for 4 from the field. And then Jasmine Charles with 8 points.
And she was the exact opposite. Jasmine Charles started 1 for 7, and then she hit 3 of her last 5 to go 4 of 12 from the field. So Charles started picking up where Hyatt fell off, and where Gust fell off. And that's where you see the combo of those 2 seniors, why LR has been so good the last 3 weeks.
At the break, Newberry by 2. Second half will decide who meets Anderson for the SAC title. We've got it locked here on the SAC Digital Network.
30 seconds remaining. 30 seconds remaining. The end of our game. How about a big round of applause for the players from Bond 1? Fans, here are some statistics from today's first half. First for Lenoir-Rhyne, scoring 27 points on 13 of 35 shooting from the floor for 37%. The Bears were 1 of 9 from behind the three-point arc for 11% and did not shoot any free throws in the half. Leading scorer for the Bears is Jenny Gust with 11 points. Leading rebounder is Brooke Robinson with 5. As a team, Lenoir-Rhyne recorded 21 rebounds, along with 5 assists.
Back at Timmins Arena, Newberry with the 2-point halftime lead on Lenoir-Rhyne, and pretty balanced shooting and scoring. Both teams struggling from beyond the arc. Both teams taking pretty good care of the basketball with turnovers down. Only 4 for the Bears, 5 for the Wolves. The difference in this one comes down to the stars. Haley Lapeo for Newberry doing the job versus Gust and Charles for the Lenoir-Rhyne Bears. Newberry getting a little more help from its bench with 9 bench points. LR blanked in that regard, but that's not that surprising from LR. LR with almost 90% of its scoring comes from players who start regularly this season, so not too shocking there for the Bears. Adam Cavalier, Jake Levy, happy to have you alongside. Ryan Brown is the 3rd member of our crew, and we'll check with him in a little bit once LR head coach Katie Pate makes her way out of the locker room. LR started this game with the hot hand, specifically Jenny Gust, as she hit her first 5 shots, but then Newberry just used a little 9-2 run to turn what was a 5-point deficit into a lead for the Wolves, and it's a lead that the Wolves have continued.
And we'll see if LR can keep this energy up. They were so crisp to start the game. Both teams played a really clean first half, but that LR team, I mean, we talked about it, how rare it is to see a 7 seed here at the final site. See if they can keep that energy and emotion for these final 20 minutes and try to ride it to another shocking victory.
This is a Bears team that's been here before. Fell in the title game last year to Wingate, largely with the same personnel as a year ago. So these players know how to win games. They've struggled to put it together at times this season. But LR certainly with the capability to make a run deep in this tournament. And to figure out how the Bears are going to do it in the second half, we check in with Ryan Brown alongside Kenny Pate.
All right, Coach Pate joining me now. Adam, Coach didn't make a trip to the foul line that first half. How much of that was by design offensively, or was Newberry doing something defensively?
Newberry is just outstanding with help side rotation. They do such a great job occupying space. We've got to do a better job of getting rapid ball reversals and attacking that defense. We're not going to win this game if we don't get to the free throw line. We talked about that at halftime. It's absolutely a point of emphasis for us.
Coach, you guys are the quote-unquote Cinderella story in the SAC semis. Confidence-wise going into the second half, where is it for this team? What was your message at half?
Well, I think we talked about that. We've been on this floor before and we've been in this situation. You know, we basically survived 20 minutes. This 20 minutes needs to be ours.
Coach, thanks a lot. Best of luck.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Ryan Brown. 7 seeds in the SAC semis thus far, 0 for 3. LR is the fourth. 2007, Tusculum lost to Newberry, 75-62. It was a 7th-seeded Carson Newman team who lost in the year 2000 to Gardner-Webb, 46-38 in the semis. And then all the way back in 1991, Catawba, the first 7 seed to reach the SAC semis, also lost to Gardner-Webb, 66-60. So LR trying to become the first 7 seed to make it to the South Atlantic Conference Championship game where Anderson awaits. Wolves led by Haley Lapeo and the Grays back on the floor as Lenoir-Rhyne's Morgan Cooper is set for this inbounds pass. 20 minutes away from figuring out who on earth Anderson's opponent will be in the SAC title game. LR in the dark jerseys, moving left to right with a 2-point deficit to the Wolves, but they can tie it here. Gust airballs the up and under move, and the Wolves will roll on the break after the rebound. Love that strategy from Sean Page. Grab a rebound, go run. Andrick gives to Lapeo, right baseline, 15-footer off the back of the rim, and the long rebound out to the Bears and Jordan Hyatt. Bears can tie with the 2 this trip. Charles wants to get inside, slips a pass, touches around to the right block, and can't finish with Brooke Robinson.
How about Lapeo taking that 16-foot jumper there from the baseline, just extending the defense and forcing LR to respect her jump shot a little bit, which will make it even tougher to try to guard her in tight.
Yeah, if she can get that jump shot working, LR could be in trouble. Bears have stayed man-to-man pretty much this entire game, doubling the post, just like they do here on Lapeo as the pass is tipped out of bounds by the Bears, and it'll stay with the Wolves.
That was a really good job there by Hyatt and Robinson sandwiching Lapeo there. There was no space for that basketball to get in.
Schultz wants the elbow jumper. Can't get it to drop, and the Bears have yet another opportunity to tie this game. Steal by the Wolves. Coast to coast, and the layup missed on the fast break by Zara Pearson. Had a decent look, but just went too strong with it. Bears will try to counter. Nothing doing there from Brooke Robinson, and the rebound trickles out of bounds. Slow going to begin this second half.
Yeah, that was a good look by Cooper, sliding it over to Robinson, and she had a clean look at the basket in tight. Not going to get much better of a shot opportunity than that, but she couldn't find a way to get it to go.
We talked about these teams being tied at the start of the game. They certainly appear to be tight at the start of this second half. Creed somehow maintains her dribble on the right wing, and the Wolves will set up shop inside with Lapeo. Lapeo with the left hand, airballs the jumper. An offensive board, and the putback will drop thanks to Schultz.
Well, Lapeo starting the second half much of the same way she started the first, missing a couple of inside looks.
Foul on the Wolves, who have a 4-point lead thanks to the putback from Schultz. Caught the air ball by Lapeo and the easy pivot and putback.
Another foul called on the Wolves defensively here.
LR without a field goal over a 4-minute span. They'll try to get one here. Robinson to the rim. She can't finish. Gets her own rebound. Second chance for LR. Charles gets it off the baseline drive.
How about that slide step by Jasmine Charles, stepping right around Lapeo to the rim.
Creed running the show for the Wolves, who go 3 out, 2 in against the man-to-man defense from the Bears. High-low action for Lapeo. Gets past her defender and then gets the charity roll. A trio of bounces on the left of the rim before it drops. Lapeo with 13 and 7 to lead Newberry.
Yeah, big day from one of the Newberry stars, but Samantha Creed averaging 17 points a game, held to just 2 points on 2 shot attempts so far today.
Nearly an and one opportunity for Morgan Cooper as her layup fell off the left side of the rim. And she'll head to the stripe for the first free throws of the day for Lenoir-Rhyne. Not a lot of fouls, but not a lot of drives, not a lot of contact in this one either.
Yeah, and you heard Coach Pate talking to Ryan when they came out of break about the great help side rotation that Newberry has that makes it so tough for those one-on-one situations. You can't catch anybody leaning. That time Cooper did a great job of slashing and getting in there quick and forcing the late help, and that got the foul.
Cooper knocks in both free throws, and we're back to a 2-point game. Neither team has led by more than 6 in this one. That was LR who had that advantage in the early going before a 9-2 Newberry run erased the deficit and gave the Wolves the lead. They've had it since. Lapeo's pass not on target. Wolves keep it anyway. Schultz, spin move. Can't get the chippy to drop from the left block.
Now, and both teams doing a good job to get themselves open looks, just having a tough time finishing in this second half.
All right, we'll set up the show for the Bears between the circles. LR had somebody open on the back door. Instead, it's Cooper driving. The ball hangs on the heel and falls down to Lapeo, and a jump ball. Lapeo hits the deck with Cooper, and the possession arrow gives it back to Newberry. That ball just would not drop, as the Wolves will get the basketball with a 2-point lead intact. One half of the SAC championship game has been set. Anderson with an 11-point win over Catawba to get into the title game. The men's semifinals head your way after this one, beginning with the Queens Royals taking on the top-seeded LMU Rail Splitters. That game at 5:30. Queens locked in before the start of its game. Royals with a big win over Wingate at home to get to the semis, while LMU trailed by 10 to Brevard in the first half before turning it on in the second stanza. 4-point play for Jarrell Simmons before the half let out gave LMU a lead in that one, but that's on tap next. Following that, it's Carson Newman and Newberry in a 2-3 matchup to finish out the day at 8.
Yeah, if you're into high-scoring basketball games, you're going to love the men's side of the Final Four. There's 4 teams that can really score. Queens playing really well right now. You said that big win over Wingate at home, and they were just off and running. And LMU, a team that scored 100 points or more 5 times this year, one of which was the last time they played Queens. So in for some high-scoring games coming up in the latter half of our 4 games here today.
Newberry with the basketball with a 2-point lead, trying to avoid the upset as Schultz pinwheels it down to Lapeo for 2. Lapeo with 13 and 8. Lapeo, a nice mark of 5 for 10 from the field. Cooper will head to the line as she just hoists up a shot, but wisely draws the foul.
Yeah, and she had nowhere to go either, so she got the foul, but after that fake right and then dart back left, she was really running right in the middle of nowhere. She watched Lapeo with that jump shot from the baseline. That's what we're talking about. If you have to force the defender to come out and play that, it's going to be so difficult to try to have someone stop her down low as well.
Teams putting on a free throw shooting clinic combined. They're 8 for 9. LR's 3 for 3 at the line. And we'll see if the broadcaster's jinx holds true. Nope. It was a reverse jinx because I referenced the jinx. Back to a 2-point game.
Is that like double erases?
Yeah. No callbacks. No tag backs. Lapeo, the hook shot. She misses the shot from 6 feet. Both these teams like to run off of rebounds. Newberry's set up in a half-court defense is Cooper out of control. Loses it out of bounds for the 6th turnover for the Bears.
And really that's 2 possessions in a row that Cooper just started driving at the basket and had nowhere to go. She got the foul call last time. This time with the ball in her right hand near the baseline, she's lost it out of bounds.
You'd heard Katie Pate at halftime said, get to the free throw line, and that might be the instruction. Just drive, try to get to the rim and get fouled. Lapeo at the stripe. Backs it out. Creed wants a deep 3. That's strong off the back iron, and the rebound chased down by Brooke Robinson. Charles deals it down to the left block, but unable to finish. That's Robinson. Wolves turn it over up the floor. LR with numbers. Cooper pulls things back, yo-yoing the ball on Schultz. Nearly another turnover for the Bears. Charles takes a double screen past Lapeo, and she can't finish from the left block. Wolves race the other way, looking to extend this 2-point lead. Schultz with space, gets into the lane. Her right-handed floater won't fall. Schultz battles for her own rebound, and Newberry with a second chance. Creed splits a double team and gets to the canister for 2. Double team was at the foul line, and Creed just drove right through it.
And there you see the blow-by ability of Samantha Creed, as that's going to warrant a timeout called by Lenoir-Rhyne. But you see her get that quick left step, then she pulls the ball in tight to her body, the 2 steps, and up with it.
So a 4-point lead for the Newberry Wolves. One of these teams meets Anderson for the SAC title. Find out who. 13:35 will tell the tale here on the SAC Digital Network.
Fans, as you follow today's games, be sure to pick up your copy of the 2015 SAC Basketball Championship program at the ticket stand and the concession stands. They cost just $2, and 50% of the proceeds go to support the Make-A-Wish Foundation, which is the official charity of NCAA Division II.
Sean Page and his Newberry Wolves trying to make it to the South Atlantic Conference title game, where Anderson awaits after an 11-point win earlier today against Catawba. Bears with the basketball. Neither team has led by more than 6 in this tight contest. Bears haven't led since the midpoint of the first half. Charles wants the elbow jumper, but she airballs it. Rebound tapped all the way back out front to Creed. And Newberry will control. Stop and pop 3 rattles in for LeYoung. That'll get things rolling for the Wolves, who have the largest lead of the game for either team at 7 points. The third made 3 of the day for Newberry. Charles pump fakes the 3, drives, dishes, foul line Gust. Gust wanted to dump it down, but the pass deflected, and Newberry has a steal. Creed being dared to shoot, she will. Off the mark, back iron. And a whistle and a foul on the rebound.
Colleen LeYoung just taking the handoff, and look at all that space she has, and she figures, why not? It rattles home.
Gave the Wolves the 7-point advantage, which is the largest of the day for either team, and more fouls. First half was so crisp, very few fouls called, but now trio on at Newberry and a couple on the Bears.
And neither team ventured into the bonus in that first half. Just 5 fouls and 4 fouls respectively.
Lapeo with the kick, but Pearson can't drill it from the left wing. Nice reverse layup, and Gust gets it to go. Gust with 13 points, her first point since the opening 5 minutes when she started 5 for 5. And the Bears are within 5. LeYoung wants the pull-up J from the middle of the lane, won't happen.
This was right around the time in the first half, Cab, when we saw Newberry go on that 9-2 run to pull the game back close, and now LR trying to do the same thing here.
LR got the stop. Can the Bears get the score? Hyatt will run the show at the top of the key. Bears started to run the weave, but it's just Charles out front. So a very slow-moving weave. Cooper pass inside is knocked away by Creed. 8th turnover for LR. Creed looked like she wanted the coast-to-coast drive, but she'll pull it back and nearly turn it over. Collision at the jump circle. Ball still loose. And LR's got a player shaken up in that process, as the training staff will come over to check on the fallen Bear.
Yeah, she got rolled up on really bad there, trying to chase down that loose ball.
That's 2 times today that we've seen a player go down on a loose ball, as Jordan Hyatt, the player who's shaken up for Lenoir-Rhyne. The training staff checking out her.
Yeah, let's watch it again as she's chasing down the ball. Here LeYoung just stays on her and stays on that ankle, and that is such a pain. There's so many things that can go wrong on something like that, from the knee all the way down to the ankle, and she's up and walking off on her own power, which is a really good sign to see.
Got both legs too. Rolled over the left and the right. Not certain which one got the worst of it. Likely the left. But Hyatt, very good to see her walk over to the bench under her own power. That's a scary, scary moment. We've had a couple of those. Nakia Young for Anderson in the first game. We saw her knee just buckle when she landed. And now Jordan Hyatt being tended to.
Well, they always say those non-contact injuries are the scariest ones, but that one's pretty scary too, getting rolled up from behind like that. And you're right, it was both of her legs that got caught up underneath. Here's a reverse angle. You see her chasing it down, and then that left knee just dragged backwards, and at the last second she rolls over on the right one. And look at the way her left leg starts to come down. It wound up coming down almost at a 90-degree angle.
With Hyatt on the bench, Jasmine Charles, last year's Player of the Year, will try to guide her Wolves back from this 5-point deficit. Charles, 10 points on 33% shooting. Haley Lapeo is a board away from a double-double. Bears with the basketball, trying to make it a single possession game. Cooper turns it over, and the Wolves with a 2-on-1 break, but the pass too far in front for Haley Lapeo, managed to save it in, so the Wolves will get into a half-court set.
Wow, what a great hustle play by Lapeo there to chase that ball down.
Shot clock winding down. Perry right around the screen. The dish. And the shot won't fall for Dunsmore. Foul on the rebound. So Lee Young the culprit.
And that's good to see.
Yeah, very, very good to see Jordan Hyatt back into this game after a very brief respite and showing no ill effects of getting both of her legs rolled over. Charles, as she starts to drive, a whistle and a foul away from the basketball.
Yeah, they're going to get Creed. She tried to fight through that screen from Robinson and kind of yanked her out of the way to get there. And that's what the officials saw from behind.
See if the Bears can take advantage and trim away at this 5-point lead. It was 7 a couple moments ago, but both teams have gone cold. Charles working on Creed in the man-to-man. Robinson faces a triple team, shoots over top of it, and will head to the stripe.
They're going to get Lapeo on that. That was her and Dunsmore both in there. Dunsmore was the one facing up on Robinson. So it was the help from Lapeo that they saw as the infraction.
Gets the first, and here you go.
Yeah, let's watch it again.
She goes by Lapeo.
And then, yeah, it's the reach from behind that she got in on that right hand and pushed it away.
It looked clean from our angle live, but the replay clearly shows that Lapeo did get a little arm smack.
Yeah, that's a good call. And that's why I was looking, I thought it was going to be called on Dunsmore, and I was going to say she couldn't have played it any better.
So 4 straight points for LR over a roughly 3-minute span as the Wolves have gone cold. But Newberry still with the 3-point lead. Newberry coming up on 4 minutes without a field goal. Perry with a good look, and she finds it off the glass. Back to a 5-point game after Perry's bucket. Perry with 5 points. Charles trying to make something happen, but she'll walk with the basketball. And LR, after 4 turnovers in the first half, Bears have coughed it up 6 times. Perry snaps the drought for the Bears off the give and go with Lapeo.
And it's very clear this offense, no matter where they're running the ball or where they want to go to, runs through Lapeo. We've seen Creed create some of her own shots throughout this season, but with Creed on the bench right now, you're going to see a lot of that. Lapeo going to the basket.
She misses the chippy. Ball back to the Bears. Charles gets it back to Hyde, and she'll set up the offense with 15 to shoot. Decent look for Cooper, but she doesn't take advantage. Shot clock winding down. Cooper to the baseline, and she'll take it in and get fouled. Not much you can do there if you're Newberry. Straight up defense, but Cooper trying to initiate contact, and she'll get back to the free throw line.
And you just wonder where this was in the first half. They had the ability to get to the basket, and the Wolves haven't changed much on their defensive side.
Cooper 4 for 4 at the line today, and there's the first miss for LR as a team. Cooper using her speed to get around Lapeo, and then she splits the two defenders to get to the line. Second free throw. Doesn't make the adjustment, and an 0 of 2 trip preserves Newberry's 5-point lead. Young splits a couple defenders, and she'll get hacked. Hyatt whistled for her first personal. Wolves wanted in the right corner, and a 3 bullseyed home.
Emily Perry, her second. She's got double figures now. What a productive day for her. Efficient, too. 4 of 6 from the floor.
New largest lead for Newberry off the triple. And a kicked ball will keep it with LR. LR has had so many opportunities. A 4-minute field goal drought for Newberry, but the Bears could only cut the Wolves' then 7-point lead down to 3. So Creed will exit after her 4th personal, and it'll send Jasmine Charles to the line. Bears are 6 of 8 at the stripe today. And Charles, an 84% free throw shooter on the season. Some discussion with the officials at the scorers table. As LR has done a fine job of getting inside and getting to the line. 8 fouls whistled on the Wolves this half, and you put Creed on the bench with 4 personals. First free throw to drop, and Lapeo has a double-double off of her 10th rebound to go along with 13 points.
So that was the discussion, because it wasn't a 2 guaranteed, just a 1-and-1. They wanted to get the substitution in beforehand.
Wolves have an opportunity at the first double-digit lead of the game as a whistle and a foul put on Jordan Hyatt. And that'll bring us to a break in the action. Wolves looking for their first double-digit lead of the game, trying to pull away from the upset-minded LR Bears. We're back after this on the SAC Digital Network.
Each season, the South Atlantic Conference women's basketball coaches and programs join together to raise money to support the fight against breast cancer. This year was no different, as every SAC women's basketball program designated a home game during the month of February, specifically to raise money for the Play 4K Cancer Fund. This year, the South Atlantic Conference women's basketball programs raised $12,000. At this time, Roger Benoit, Director of Athletics at Lincoln Memorial University, is presenting a check to SAC Associate Commissioner Elaine Keevy, which will go to the Play 4K Cancer Fund. Lincoln Memorial led the conference by raising $2,866.50 during its game on February the 14th. Thank you to all the women's basketball programs in the South Atlantic Conference for your continued support in the fight against breast cancer. Fans, a warm round of applause.
Wolves looking for their first double-digit lead of the night. They've led ever since a 9-2 run at the midpoint of the first half. Perry wants a 3, but it's strong. Charles can't get the runner to drop. And the Wolves are on the run, looking for that double-digit lead. All the way to the canister. Pearson can't finish, but she'll get fouled and head to the line. So Gus picks up her second personal. And Pearson, who has yet to attempt a free throw today, will try to make it a 10-point game. Won't happen. Short off the front of the rim. So it's a 9-point game in favor of Newberry. LR and Gus trying the reverse layup, but Lepeo's got her 12th board. Wolves bring it right to left. The layup falls in for Handreck, and Newberry has an 11-point lead for the first time today. Wolves have scored 7 straight.
This is kind of the same pattern, Cav, we saw in the first game where it was tight the whole way through, and then Anderson just pulled away at the end. Hyatt trying to prevent that big three to answer.
Just the second make from beyond the arc for LR today. Bears are 2 of 10 as a team, but Hyatt knocks down the big one. Back to an 8-point game. Schultz the drive.
And now they get the stop they need as well.
Bears hustled the other way. Hyatt into the high post for Robinson, and Robinson finishes from 15. Just like that, a quick 5-0 spurt for Lenoir-Rhyne. Back to a 6-point game. Pearson takes the Lepeo screen, leaps, passes. Lepeo wants the 15-footer, and she rattles it home. So tough to defend Haley Lepeo when she's showcasing that range.
It's the second time she's hit one from outside like that.
LR just 13 second half points to speak of. Trying to get something rolling with a Cooper drive.
It's a good non-call.
Wolves try to take advantage on the break, but Perry will have to pull back. Looking to reestablish that double-digit lead following the 8-0 Newberry run. Pearson's off the mark.
Heat check there. Just they left her all alone out beyond the arc. Figured why not? Put it on target, but couldn't make it.
Cooper another drive, but she's held by Handreck.
As you watch here again, the play design, Lepeo with the pick and the pop as she comes free along the baseline, and the good find for her from Pearson, and too many weapons, too many things she can do offensively to even come close to trying to stop her.
Became Newberry's all-time leading scorer earlier today as Lepeo gets a much-deserved water break. 15 points, 12 rebounds for her with the double-double.
The double-double machine.
Always a threat to go for on the plus side of 10 for points and rebounds as Cooper earns her second free throw.
How about 11 free throw attempts now, the 11th coming from Cooper, all of them here in this second half.
That was what Katie Paint told Ryan Brown at the break, that was what she wanted her team to do in the second half, was get to the free throw line, and the Bears have been able to do just that. Not a lot of scoring outside of that, though, just 21-16 in favor of the Wolves here in the second half. Foul line jumper for Schultz, and she's left wide open after Handrick created some space. Back to an 8-point game. Newberry trying to keep the upset-minded Cinderella Lenoir-Rhyne at arm's length. Hyatt, who was hurt previously, gets it around to the left wing. Foot on the line, 2 goes through. And Cooper brings the Bears back within 6. Newberry took a double-digit lead off of an 8-0 run. The Bears a 5-0 spurt. Lapeo with the great find, but Schultz blows the bunny. She was left wide open on the left block. Nobody was within 5 feet of her. Has an issue with the shot clock, I believe. Will bring us to one last break in the action. It's a 6-point game for Newberry as the Wolves try to join Anderson in the South Atlantic Conference Championships. Back after this on the SAC Digital Network.
Come back to Timmins Arena tomorrow for the SAC Men's and Women's Championship games.
Adam Cavalier, Jake Levy, alongside Ryan Brown and our producer, Aaron Kennedy. Glad you've joined us here at Timmins Arena, where Newberry has a 6-point lead on Lenoir-Rhyne, but the Bears have the basketball. Cooper. Newberry trying to clog the lane against the Bears, who have had some success on drives getting to the free throw line this half. Gust, the leaner off the window.
And look at how many bodies were inside the paint there. You're looking at 7 different players combined in there, and Gus trying to find some space in between, able to finesse it through.
What was an 11-point lead for Newberry is down to 4 as Gust has 15. Pearson.
It's an 8-2 run right now by LR to cut this thing all the way back to 4.
Oh, and a near steal by Jenny Gust on the perimeter from Handrek. Gust with the personal.
Watch this again. Look at all these bodies in the paint that she's trying to lean through. There's 3 gray jerseys surrounding her, and she's able to find a way to lean through 2 and lay it over the other.
Pearson, head of the key. Schultz has done some work today. She's got 10. Schultz with the high-low lob. Lapeo the pump and the finish. That's just a mismatch that Haley Lapeo is going to win darn near every time. Back to a 6-point game. Lapeo with 17. And now a charge on the other end. Jasmine Charles, a look of frustration on her face. Her storied career for LR 2 minutes away from ending if the Wolves can hang on.
A lot of time left.
Stop and score, and you're back in this one.
But the most important thing right now is the stop.
Bears get it. Charles the rebound off the missed 3. And the Bears put it back in the bucket. Maybe not, but at least you get to the free throw line. Great aggressive drive by Brooke Robinson. And Lapeo picks up just her 2nd personal. Samantha Creed's been the only bit of foul trouble today for either team. But even in Creed's absence, it really doesn't seem like it's mattered much for Newberry. They've still been relatively in sync offensively. And certainly defensively, you're not going to sneeze at holding a team to under 37% shooting and under 50 points through the first 38 minutes of a game. Free throws continue to work for LR.
And you look at Jasmine Charles, who 30-plus points each of the last 2 games as that one bangs through. But just 5 of 16 today, 10 points. LR does have 3 in double figures, but you figure for them to get out of this game with a victory, Jasmine Charles is going to have a few more points than 10 today.
See if LR can get a necessary stop. Wolves should try to take time off the clock here. 10 to shoot. Pearson, the drive to the foul line, and she'll be shoved. 1 plus the bonus. After Charles now quickly comes into foul trouble off of her 4th personal as Katie Pate calls timeout to send Charles and company back to the bench.
Watch this again, shot clock winding down. Pearson's just going to drive and don't see much there. You watch that left arm hooked inside. Doesn't grab or anything. That's just where her arm happened to be. It got sandwiched in there. There's not much there on that foul. The referee right behind the play made the call. Take a look at our game reset. There you see Katie Page just took her 2nd timeout, so she's got 3 left. Newberry with 4 timeouts remaining. Sean Page not using one here in the 2nd half. He did take one in the first, so he didn't get to use it or lose it, but he's been with 4 this entire 2nd half. And then you see the fouls. Newberry in the double penalty, so Lenoir-Rhyne would have 2 free throws on any foul the rest of the way. Meanwhile, Newberry in the 1-and-1 right now, which they'll get out of this timeout by Katie Pate. And then the possession arrow belonging to Newberry, which in a tight 4-point game at the moment could come into play down the stretch.
We've seen a few tie-ups already today, and both teams with aggressive posts who are more than capable of doing that off rebounds, especially Newberry with first-team All-SAC performer Haley Lapeo. Big free throws here for Zara Pearson. Pearson 1 for 2 at the line today, but she'll miss the front end. 1 for 3.
Big miss.
LR with a chance to make this a single possession game with 65 seconds left in this South Atlantic Conference semifinal. Robinson cut off by Lapeo. Stops her dribble, has to pass out of it, nearly lost it off of Gus' foot. The 3 from Cooper, strong. And a great board by Creed on the left block. LR electing not to foul, down 4. And now it comes as Handrick crosses the timeline. Hyatt whistled for her 3rd personal. And so 1 plus the bonus for Handrick, is a 77% free throw shooter on the season. And she'll earn the 2nd. Back to a 5-point game. Got them both. 2 big makes for Handrick. And now LR, who's 2 of 11 from beyond the arc, might have to rely on the 3-point shot if the 7th-seeded Bears want to become the first 7th seed to ever make a SAC title game. Charles, circus shot, but no steps. She walks with the basketball for the 12th turnover of the game for LR in the 8th of this half.
Yeah, here she's trying to go right to left, trying to get the shot off quickly, and there you see Creed coming over in the bump, and that's what forced the extra step. Could have called a foul there, instead they called the travel, and now with that we'll get 2 guaranteed at the line.
Newberry has hit its free throws today. Wolves are 8 for 11, 73% on the day, and Handrick back to the line where she's already hit back-to-back. 3-possession game as Jasmine Charles sighs in frustration.
Understandably so. It was a tough go of it for Jasmine Charles today. A slow start, just 1 of 7 to start the game. Then she went on a spurt towards the tail end of that first half where she hit 3 of her next 5, but ever since then, just 1 of her last 4 here in the second half. Really hasn't had that many opportunities. And then you see the last one just down the stretch here where she gets called for the travel. Watch Samantha Creed, top of your screen right now, come over for the help. Watch her step up and the bump, and that's where they get the steps. And Creed was leaning and jumping in towards Charles. They could have called her for a foul there if they wanted. Instead, they say incidental contact. Both were in the spot, and therefore it's a walk on Jasmine Charles.
Jasmine Charles, a 3-time first team All-SAC performer, the player of the year last season. Her season in danger of ending. And the Cinderella run coming to a close as Handrick knocks down the second 8-point game with 29 seconds left. LR needs close to a miracle.
Well, last possession, you didn't think they needed a 3 quite yet. Now you think it's about time to just start chucking early.
Charles open from the left wing. Short. Freed the rebound, and it appears that Katie Paint has called off LR. Newberry will be able to dribble this one out and head on to the South Atlantic Conference title game where Anderson awaits. Credit Haley Lapeo with a double-double. She powers the Wolves past the Bears 58-50 and on to the South Atlantic Conference title game. Lapeo 17 points. She was efficient, 7 of 14 from the field to go along with 12 rebounds. And not to mention, Lapeo dishes out 3 assists. Superb performance by Haley Lapeo. Plus, with that free throw, she becomes Newberry's all-time leading scorer.
And there you see her getting it done on the defensive end as well. Her spacing, her positioning, what a matchup nightmare for Lenoir-Rhyne. We saw this as a game coming in that she might really be able to put a big footprint on, and boy did she. Finishing in tight, finishing from outside. Once she got the ball, wherever she wanted to go, she was just able to drive us. Here you see one of those jumpers I was talking about. She was just too tough to stop. Here's the other one off the pick and pop. Able to get the open look from the baseline, and virtually every look she has is an open look, the way she's able to fight down low, and we're going to get to see her play one more time.
So Haley Lapeo with that performance, you'd probably insert her into the tournament MVP discussion with Anderson's Jasmine Franklin after she had 28 points. So the final score, Newberry 58, Lenoir-Rhyne 50. SAC title game at 1 p.m. Sunday is set between the Wolves of Newberry and the Anderson Trojans. For our producer, Aaron Kennedy, our sideline reporter, Ryan Brown, and my color guy, Jake Levy, get funky. Wolves are headed to the title game. This is the SAC Digital Network.